Alright, in this part of the video, I am going to show you how to sew everything on. So we're going to start with the legs. You're going to need a yarn needle that has an eye big enough for the yarn to go through. And you are also going to need a pair of scissors. If you want to, you can use some straight pins to kind of hold your leg in place if you so desire. But you do not have to use it if you don't want to. We're gonna start by going inside a stitch and then grab the leg as you're coming out. And then you're gonna go back in the leg. You're not gonna go around like this because then it creates the black where you see the work the black loops. So what you're gonna do is instead you are just going to go in the leg and grab some of the white from underneath and go back out to the leg and pull your yarn through. And then you're gonna go back in another spot of the leg, grab some of the white yarn, and go back out another spot of the leg and pull your yarn out. And this is just creating a seamless, more professional look. Okay. And then the last stitch coming out might be a little bit hard to grab the leg as you're coming out, so it's fine if you need to go out the body and then go back and grab part of the leg. That is completely fine. And then what I like to do is I also like to go again the opposite direction so that I know that my work is secure. So and if you need to, you can flip your work like this so that you can see where you're coming out of, and you can also grab more yarn from the body and then go back out another spot of the leg. And then grab another part of the leg, or the body, I'm sorry. Go out and find another part of the leg. And then what you may want to do is once you do that last stitch, you may want to go back through another spot of the leg and then make, let me see if I can do this. So basically, go through a stitch, and instead of pulling all the way through, go through the loop and tighten to create a nice tie off. And then just go through the body, wherever you want, to make sure that your work is secure. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the yarn tightly and then cut it. And what that does is that when it lets go, the yarn retracts back into the body so that you don't see it. And if you still see a little bit of the yarn left, what you can do is you can take a crochet hook or your needle and you can just kind of push that back into the body. So now we are going to do the other leg. And then through the leg. Okay. And then you're gonna go back through the leg. Through the body. Back through the leg. And then repeat that. Okay, and then you're gonna go through a stitch, and then what you're gonna do is you're not going to pull that loop through all the way, but you're gonna put your needle through that loop, draw it up, and then tie a knot in it so that it secures it. And then you're just gonna go through the body until you are content with how many times you have gone in and out of the body. And then you're going to grab your scissors and cut. And then if you have a little bit of stuffing poking through, all you have to do is just poke it back in and no problem. And if you have part of the animal that the body is kind of pulled in, all you have to do is go underneath and pull it out a little bit. Okay, so there are the legs of your panda. I'm going to show you how to sew on the arms of the panda now. So I'm taking the arm and I'm putting it kind of in the middle of the body, like when you turn the body sideways, it's going to be kind of in the middle. And what you want to do is you want to go in through the body, grab a stitch, and then go through a stitch of the arm. I know it's very hard to see the black, I'm sorry. And then you're going to go through another arm stitch and then go through a body stitch. And then just keep on going through these stitches until you are confident with how your arm is on your panda. Okay, and then you can either leave the arm like this, or if you want to, you can also take the yarn down to the body and then make a stitch through the arm and back into the body, even a couple times if you would like to, so that the arm just kind of stays down. Or you can just leave the arm up like this. So I'm going to show you how to make the arm stay down. So I'm going to go in through the body. Again, I'm really sorry that this is hard to see. I know that this is not convenient for a learner. I do have a video on how to crochet a dog, so you can look at that video to show you how to sew the arms on, because that is the same way that I am doing. So if you're having a hard time seeing this, then you can always watch the other video. So I'm just going through a couple stitches of the arm and pulling it tightly, and then I'm going to go back through the body and then out through the black part. You can either go through the black of the body or the black of the arm. It's up to you. And then make a knot so that everything is held securely. And I'm just going in and out of the body a couple times. All right. And then you're gonna cut the yarn. Make sure you pull it tightly though before you cut. And that is how you sew on one of the arms. So I'm gonna show you how to do the other arm as well. And you're gonna go through a stitch of the body, And then you're going to go back through there. And then I'm going to go through a stitch to make a slip stitch so that my arm is secure. Okay, and then go down through the body, and then you're just going to grab a stitch from the arm and then you are going to So I'm just going to go in through a stitch and then before I complete the pull through, I'm going to go through that loop and pull it tightly so that it is now secure. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring the yarn through different parts of the body, and this is important when you're working with a different color yarn than the body. So if for example like this, you have the white and you're bringing the black through the body or the head, you want to make sure that it goes smoothly through the stitches so that you don't see any remnants of the black. But then again, imperfect pieces of art are perfect as well. So, and this is art. But no matter what color your body is, unless the color of your body and the arms and the legs are the same color, you want to be careful to not go through a bad stitch and have some black poke through. Pull the yarn tight and cut. And then I'm going to use my crochet hook to actually kind of push this back in. There you go. So that is the arms and the legs of the panda. And now I'm going to show you how to put on the ears, which is going to be a little bit tricky because of my tripod situation. But I'm going to do my best to show you guys how to put the ears on. Alright, so for this part of the panda, alright, here we go. This is a little bit of a better situation. Hopefully you guys can see this all right. So I'm going to introduce to you first straight pins. All right, so you're gonna take your ear and you're going to have the outside edge with the thread or the yarn out towards the side. So it's going to look like this. So what you're going to do is you're going to position the ear how you want it to, and you're going to kind of curve the ear in a little bit. So instead of having the ear straight like this on the panda, you're going to curve it a little bit so that it's curved more. Okay? And you're going to do this with both ears. You're going to position the ears how you like them to be. Mine look like this on the side of the head. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a stitch of the head. And then once I go through that stitch of the head, you're going to grab a stitch of the ear on both sides. Sorry about the tripod moving. Go in through the head. Try to grab as little of the head as you possibly can too, just so that you don't see black. And then go through another stitch. Go through the head. And then you just want to keep on doing this, going through the ear and then going through the head, and then an ear stitch, head stitch, etc., until you get all the way across the ear, or until you feel comfortable with how your ear is placed. So okay, so that is one ear that is pretty much on, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the end of the black yarn and go through the head, and I'm just going to carry it down to the body, and this will help that edge, the top edge of the ear, come down more towards the head. And now I'm just going to do a quick tie off. Sorry for the background noise. Okay, so as you saw, I just pulled the yarn tightly and then I cut it. So that is how one of your ears should look. I'm going to do the other ear now. And you want to find a good position that works for you. I'm actually going to turn the panda sideways, and then I'm going to start sewing the ear on. So again, you want to go through a stitch of the head and then through a stitch of the ear so that you get both. You get both parts, and then you want to go through the head again. So when you're going through the stitches of the ear, always make sure that you're pulling up both stitches from each side so that there isn't one part of the ear that is missing and so forth. Again, I apologize for the lighting of this video, for all the panda videos, because the lighting is not great, and I completely apologize for not having the best lighting for this black yarn. Alright, so now I'm going to bring the yarn through the head, and I'm going to carry it down to the body. I'm going to make a little knot off. And then carry that back through the body. And once I'm happy with where I land with it, cut it. And that is the ears of the panda. They are not perfect, but that's okay. Now I'm going to show you how to make the nose, or how to put on the nose, I should say. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have the end of the nose towards the bottom. Okay. And then if you want to, it's completely optional, but it could be very helpful, as you might want to put some straight pins. Alright, so we're going to take the nose, and if you want to lay your panda down for this, you can. I'm going to take the nose and make sure that it is where I want it to be on the panda. That looks about right. So once I have the nose where I am comfortable with it, I'm going to start by going through a stitch of the body and then going through a stitch of the nose. And we're not stuffing our nose yet. Go through another stitch of the body, or the head I should say. And then a stitch of the nose. Stitch of the head. Stitch of the nose. Then go through a stitch of the head. A stitch of the nose. Oops. And then stitch of the head and stitch of the nose. Sorry for the noise. Okay, and then a stitch of the head and a stitch of the nose. Stitch of the head and a stitch of the nose, all the way around. But before you fully stop, you're going to stuff the nose. Alright, so you want to grab some stuffing. And then you're gonna wanna stuff it in your nose, or in the panda's nose, I should say. You do not want stuffing in your own nose. And then put as much as you want, or as little as you want, basically until you feel comfortable with it. Okay. And then you're gonna go through a stitch of the head and then a stitch of the nose. A stitch of the head and then a stitch of the nose. A stitch of the head and then a stitch of the nose. And then the last stitch of the head and the last stitch of the nose. Okay, and then you're just going to knot off. Sorry if I'm going fast, my camera is about to die, so I want to get this nose on before it dies. Okay, and then you're just going to weave that in and out of the head until you are satisfied. Pull it tightly and cut. And that is part of the nose. And then what you want to do is you want to take some black yarn It doesn't have to be a lot. But I'm going to show you how to stitch the black of the nose onto your nose. So you're going to go through the middle of that magic circle, go out through a stitch, in through the magic circle, out through a stitch, and you are just going to continue this until you are happy with your nose. And then just keep on going in and out until you think and feel that your nose is complete. Okay, so once you are happy with how your nose is, then what you can do is you can bury the end of the nose into the head and go in and out of the head a couple times. tight and cut. And then what you want to do is you want to take the end that was first put into your nose, and you want to make sure that when you do this part you have a good long tail, because you're going to take it in. You're gonna go under the stitch and oops. So you go under this stitch and then up through this stitch of the nose, and you'll want to do that maybe twice. And this time you're going to go through the head just like we did with the other part of the nose. You're just going to bury it. Like so. So there is your little nose, and then I'm going to show you how to put on the eyes and then the tail. Now I'm going to show you how to put on the eye patches and the eyes. So you're going to take an eye patch. What you might want to do with the eye patch is you might want to take the yarn needle and just weave the end of the yarn through the eye patch a little bit, just so that it's buried in there, and then cut the yarn. And then go ahead and put the yarn from the eye patch on your needle. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to kind of place the eye patch on your panda and make sure you like how it is placed. And then you're going to go through the back of the head of the panda and up through the eye patch, and then go down into the eye patch stitch and grab some of the white from the head and go up, and then find another stitch and go back through that, a stitch of the eye patch, and then just keep on doing that around. When you go in the eye patch, grab some of the white from the head, and then when you come back out, go through the eye patch, and then continue this all the way around or until you are satisfied with until you are satisfied with how the eye patch looks. And then go through the eye patch and through the head to knot off. Alright, so once you are happy with how buried your yarn tail is, then you can go ahead and grab your scissors, pull the yarn, and cut. And then you're going to put on the other eye patch. Alright, so we are going to put on the other eye patch now. So make sure to position it how you want it. So make sure that you position the eye patch where you want it on the panda. And then just do the same thing as you did with the other eye patch. Going in through the eye patch and then going and grabbing part of the head. And then going back in through the eye patch, grabbing a stitch, going through the head. And if you guys have any questions on how to sew the eye patch on, let me know. I know it's hard to see what I am doing, so I will do my best to help you if you have troubles with figuring out what I'm trying to do or say, because I know black is not the easiest thing to see on camera. And then you're just going to carry it down through the body. Once you are content with how you have put your patch on and how you have woven the needle in and out of the body, then you're gonna pull the yarn tight and cut it. So this is what it looks like so far. And now we're going to work on the white part of the eye. So again, you have this tail. So if you want to, you can weave it in and out of some of the stitches. Just to bury it. Cut. And then you're going to take the white of the eye and put it on the patch, the eye patch. And you're just going to, you can put it straight in the middle if you want to. I'm going to put mine kind of more towards the bottom, just because that I feel looks really cute. But you can do it however you want to. And then you're going to pick up some of the black from the patch and then go in through a stitch. And then go in through the white stitch, pick up a little bit of the black patch, and then go back in through the stitch of the white of the eye. And just keep on repeating this. So you're going to want to grab some black of the eye patch, and go through the white, and then go through the patch, and then go through, this time you can go through the head because it's white on white. Okay, so there is the little white to your eye, and we are just going to pull the yarn in and out, and then we're gonna knot off. Sorry again for every time I hit the camera. And then cut. Okay. And then you're going to do that for the other eye too. Okay. So make sure you have it on how you like it. And then you're just going to go through the black patch. Actually, I'm going to go through a white stitch first. And then part of the black patch through a stitch of the white of the eye. And then through another white stitch. And then grab part of the black of the eye. And then go back in through another stitch. And then back through the black of the eye. And then through the white. Through the white again, through the black, and then through the black and then through another white stitch. And then just go through the body of your panda to help bury the yarn end. And then once you are happy with how buried your yarn tail is into the head of the panda, you're gonna pull the yarn tight, give it a cut, and then that is how your eyes look so far. And then all we have to do is put on the little black pieces to the eyes to make them complete. So I'm going to show you how to put this black part of the eye on. You're gonna go in through a black stitch, grab part of the white of the eye, and then go through another part of the white, and then through another black stitch, okay, and you're just going to continue doing this all the way around. Until you are happy with how your eye looks. And then once you're happy with it, then just go through another black stitch and then through the white part of the eye and the black patch. And then just carry it through the head a couple times. And then you may want to catch it on the black patch to finish it off. And then just go through the head again. And that is your eye complete. Now go ahead and do the other eye, and I will meet you back to do the tail. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to put on the tail for the panda. And this will be the finishing touch to have this panda finished. So what you are going to want to do is you're going to want to have the ending of the tail, so this part of the tail, towards the bottom. Okay, and then alright, so position the tail how you want it on the panda. Okay, and then you're gonna go in through the stitch of the tail, and then you are going to go in through the body and then out through the body. Grab another stitch of the tail and then go in through another stitch of the tail, go in through the body, and this will just create a nice seamless kind of look. Okay, so we went in through the body and out, so now we're gonna go in through a stitch and then grab another stitch of the tail and then go through the body. And you're basically just going to repeat this all the way around until your tail is almost secure, but you want to leave a little bit of space before you finish off with your tail, because we're going to stuff the tail. So you're going to want to stuff your tail, so you're not going to want to fully sew on the tail quite yet. Because you're still going to want to have some space in order to stuff your tail. Okay, so we're gonna go through one more stitch and then I'm gonna show you how to stuff and finish the tail. Alright, now we're gonna add some stuffing, and you can add as much or as little as you want, just like the nose. Okay. Now we are going to go through another stitch of the tail, and then go through a stitch of the body, and then go through another stitch of the tail, and then stitch of the body, and then finish off by going through the last stitch of the tail, if you can get in there. Okay, and then you're gonna weave in and out through the body. And the tail will help to have your panda sit up. So you're just gonna knot off. And weave in and out a few times, and then once you're happy, cut your yarn. And that is how you crochet this little panda. I hope that you like it. I hope that you enjoyed this video tutorial, and if you did, please give the channel a subscribe. Please like the videos, and let me know if there's any other videos you would like to see. I have a bunch more patterns that I would like to do tutorials on, so I will get those up as soon as I possibly can. But here is a final look at the panda. And I hope you guys enjoyed this pattern, and if you make this panda, I would love to see pictures, so please post them in the comment section, or you can post them on my Facebook crochet page, which I will have linked down in the description box. It's simply Sadie Crochet. And you can also message me pictures or tag me in photos on my Instagram, simply Sadie Crochet. I will have all of my crochet links down in the description box. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!